Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on Benjamin Franklin and his autobiography. Benjamin Franklin is, of course, a giant figure in American history and literature. Living from 1706 to 1790, he was a foundational founding father whose accomplishments are almost too many to list. He was a writer, an editor, a politician, an inventor, a philanthropist, a diplomat, and a businessman. He was, by all accounts, a phenomenally productive and intelligent individual. What's fascinating is that he was largely self-taught. The self-made quality is why we often see him as the very embodiment of the rags to riches and self-reliant myths that are so central to the American identity. He came from a large family, one of 17 children with no great wealth to inherit. So he was forced to go out and forge his own path to success. At his heart, Franklin was a man of the Enlightenment. He was driven by a constant, relentless pursuit of truth and knowledge. This intellectual curiosity is what pushed him to break from tradition and excel in so many different fields. If he had simply followed the path his father had set for him, we likely wouldn't be talking about him today. His autobiography is a key text in American literature. He wrote it initially for his son as a way to pass on the lessons he learned in life. And it's in this book that we really see his methodical, almost scientific approach to self-improvement, a true Enlightenment mindset. The book itself has an interesting backstory. It was written in 4 parts and wasn't published all at once. The first part actually came out in France in 1791, before being published in English in 1793. The full autobiography, as we know it today, wasn't even published until 1868, nearly 80 years after his death. Now, to understand his character, let's listen to some of his own words on the topic of self-education and industry. Franklin said that the library afforded me the means of improvement by constant study, and that he dedicated an hour or two each day to reading to make up for his lack of formal schooling. He was incredibly disciplined, stating that reading was the only amusement I allowed myself, avoiding taverns and games. He firmly believed that industry was a means of obtaining wealth and distinction, a philosophy that he said eventually allowed him to literally stand before kings, even joking that he had the honor of sitting down to dinner with one on religion. Franklin explained that while he was raised as a Presbyterian, he found many of its doctrines unclear. He said, "I early absented myself from the public assemblies of the sect," but was quick to add that he was never without religious principles. Like many founding fathers, he was a deist. He said he never doubted the existence of a deity, but he respected all religions, though, in his witty way, he added with different degrees of respect. He was critical of organized religion, arguing that the specific dogmas that divide religions often serve principally to divide us and make us unfriendly to one another, rather than inspire the core morality that he valued. Perhaps the most famous section of the autobiography is where Franklin describes his ambitious, Enlightenment-driven project for moral perfection. He said he conceived the bold and arduous project of arriving at moral perfection, wishing to live without committing any fault, but he quickly discovered this was harder than it seemed. He wrote that while my care was employed in guarding against one fault, I was often surprised by another, finding that habit and inclination often overpowered reason. It's a very human lesson we can all relate to in the end. He concluded that pride was the most difficult fault to overcome. He said that no matter how much you disguise it, struggle with it, or beat it down, pride is still alive and will peek out. And with his classic self-aware humor, he concluded that even if I could conceive that I had completely overcome it, I should probably be proud of my humility. So, through his own words, we get a portrait of a brilliant, driven, yet deeply human figure whose life and philosophy helped shape the American character. His autobiography is a fascinating read, full of more insights like these, and I highly encourage you to explore it. A link to his book on Amazon is included in the description. I will receive a small commission if you purchase a copy. Thank you.